What did you witness that changed you forever? Our beach has a long pier that runs along the bay and then turns 90 degrees and juts out into the lake, and swimming off of this pier, which is owned by the federal government, not our park, is prohibited. This is because there are undertows that push against the pier, there are slabs of the old pier beside it that aren't visible a couple feet below the water, and there are no lifeguards out there to make sure people are safe. Just a complete cluster of reasons to not jump off of it. On June 17, 2012 on Father's Day, at around 4:30 p.m., we get a call from our park office that 911 dispatch has called them saying people were calling in a drowning off the pier. I run from our diving channel 40 kilos of equipment, backboard, medical bag, and a radio, and get the attention of my sister, another veteran guard, and my head lifeguard, who are returning from kicking people off the closed auxiliary beach, and we take off towards the pier. It is over 90 degrees outside, and while running with this equipment, I literally second-degree burned my feet and cut it on a broken beer bottle while running. The adrenaline drowned out the pain. The man was already gone, but we are unable to make a death call, so the head lifeguard takes over compressions while a new lifeguard gives rescue breaths. He forgets his latex gloves and later has to go through a battery of tests because the victim was covered in vomit as his body tried to evacuate the water from his lungs. A couple volunteers on the local police boat pull up, the victim is placed on board, and taken to the boat launch where one of the ambulances has pulled up to receive him. Another ambulance at first tried to back up to the end of the break wall, the part that runs along the bay, but their rig got stuck. It was fortunate, however, because during all this craziness a child was horribly bitten by a dog in the picnic area and the EMTs were able to respond to that while we dealt with this. By the time it's all over, I'm limping back to the first aid station with the med bag on my back, and bleeding heavily all over the pier. The victim's family is sobbing and panicking. He was 27 years old and intoxicated at the time, and his family had encouraged him to jump and not knowing he had no ability to swim, the water was deep in the area he jumped into. Our two brand new 17-year-old lifeguards are crying hysterically because it's their second day on the job. When we get back to the first aid station, the AED housing compartment is broken on the floor because the assistant head lifeguard tore it apart to get the AED from it in his haste. Our head lifeguard closed the beaches and sent everyone home sans the two lifeguards who were not involved. One stayed on the beach and another at the diving channel to make sure no one drowns/gets hurt during emergencies. He stayed along with them and kept people out of the water. The rest of us went home. It was a horrible night, between the empty feeling that there was nothing we could do, and the pain in my feet. I had blood blisters and cuts from the glass that got infected from the seagull shit I had tracked through. It was not a fun day. My sister didn't return back the next summer.